welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I'm Christine, and today I will be reading to you from the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland. And we are going to use a spread from her book that accompanies this deck called the Lunar Cycle Reading. So, all right. I am going to start our reading out with the card Full Moon in Libra, as that is fast approaching at the time of this reading. So this full moon in Libra happens on the 1st of April. It's the 28th as the time of this filming. So I'm going to start with this card, Full Moon in Libra, as our card 1, representing our current situation and where the energy is now. So let's switch cameras here. All right, so here we are with the full moon in Libra. All right, now the rest of ours will just go with what was shuffled up. So card 2, the situation and the energies 1 week from now, first quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. Card 3 represents situation and energies in 2 weeks' time. Last quarter moon in Libra. We had a lot of Libra going on in this. That's interesting. And card 4 represents your situation and the energies in 3 weeks' time. And we go to Capricorn. Leave the past behind. Very interesting that we had 3 Libra cards come up. These were quite well shuffled. And when they're put away, they're not put away in sign order. They're put away as far as full quarter or new moon. So, oh, wow, let's look at this. So, like I said, I did pull that card before I shuffled so that we could kind of get a pulse on what's going on with us in this present full moon in Libra. So let's look at what Yasmin has to say about that. Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. There we go. So focusing on your own wants and needs is understandable. We all need to look after ourselves. However, this card suggests you need to find a balance between what you need versus what someone else needs. Walk a mile in their shoes. Once you understand where they're coming from and why, you can take action. If you've been through a worrying time, including regarding your health, this card reminds you to find the right people for help. Make up your own mind about your situation rather than being too influenced by others. Your manifestation affirmation is there is love all around me and I am lovable. So she's got a lot of other good information in the book about finding balance, manifesting a mindset, when to manifest. Yes, lots of good information. But yeah, if you think about Libra, Libra is all about finding balance. Libra, the sign of Libra is the scales. And you also think about your full moon in Libra is going to happen during Aries season because the moon has to be completely opposite the sun. The sun is in Aries for the full moon, therefore must be in Libra. Physics, love it. Anyway, so if you think about the Aries, being in Aries, I can certainly speak to this. We tend to be a little bit headstrong. Some might call us reckless. Um, we tend to be rather dominant personalities, fiery personalities. We tend to be rather passionate. And in my case, yes, can be quick to anger. I'll certainly claim that as something that I've had to work with over the years. So when we're talking about finding balance, yes, you have to take that Aries energy of being the leader of the zodiac. It is a little bit, cardinal fire there, me first. You do have to balance that with other people's needs, and that's what Libra is all about in the full moon. And Libra is finding that balance between your needs and other people's. Practicing empathy. This is not unknown to the Aries. It's just need to find a balance. Okay, so in a week, so if you think about each one of these cards kind of takes place a week. Now the moon changes signs about every 2.5 days, but over the course of a year, it's going to be pretty steady. That at some point you're going to have a first quarter moon in Libra, and let's look at that first quarter moon. First quarter moon in Libra, keep your heart open. Are you too attached to someone or perhaps to a current goal? It's a wonderful thing to care deeply. However, if you start to smother the person or situation you love, you could run into trouble. Work with others as you move towards your goals, but don't become so dependent that you give away your power. Keep your heart open. This card can also suggest that it's time to negotiate something, and the way to manifest your goals now could be to come up with a solution that pleases everyone. So, again, talking about balance, and while it's very difficult to please everyone, there can be a cooperative solution perhaps in your dilemma. So, yes, keep your heart open. I can go a little higher there. Let's do that. Let's get everybody on board. Beautiful. See all the beautiful cards. So, yeah, this is all about working with others and receiving help from others, even, which can be sometimes difficult. Let me see something. First quarter moon in Libra. When does that happen in the year? Okay, so first quarter moon in Libra typically happens in the end of June, at least according to some of my calendars here. Let me consult 2026. This year, the first quarter moon in Libra is going to happen right on the cusp on June 21st. So, right on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer. So, if you think about this happening in Gemini Cancer season, so Gemini being an air sign, Cancer being a water sign, Cancer being the cardinal water sign, um, Gemini being mutable air, that's definitely keep your heart open. I can really see how that would apply to the onset of Cancer season. Yeah, and then also the balance of Libra with the duality of Gemini. Yeah, there's a lot to be heard. There's a lot to kind of to balance out. So yeah, completely see where Yasmin is coming from on that. Last quarter moon in Libra. Last quarter moon in Libra is in Capricorn, December 30th. Actually, no, excuse me, that's Aquarius. Okay, so last quarter moon in Libra is in the Aquarius season. So if you think about Aquarius being cardinal air, is Aquarius cardinal air? I believe so. Yeah, cardinal air. Last quarter moon in Libra. Make time for self-love. So yeah, that's something to think about when we're thinking about being in Aquarius season. Last quarter moon in Libra. Have you been trying to please all the people all the time, and when you're not yet quite happy yourself? Oh, so we have a little contrast here. So this is about finding cooperative solutions, but also you have to be happy about the cooperative solution too. Oh, yes. Okay. You can't fool the universe, so pretending to be happy when you're sad will get you nowhere. Rather, you need to deal with your feelings. That's the only way. If you're people pleasing, stop. Think about what's going on and why you're doing it. If you're in an unbalanced relationship, address the situation. So, when we're talking about being cooperative, we're not talking about sacrificing, we're talking about being cooperative. Find the balance between your needs and their needs, but also make sure your needs are met. We're not talking about sacrificing things over here when you're keeping your heart open. We're talking about finding that true balance. Oh my goodness, yeah, very interesting. So finding that balance, finding that cooperation, but still making sure that you are taking care of yourself as well. Okay, yeah, this is I see the flow of this. This is great. Last quarter moon in Capricorn. Let's look at that. Leave the past behind. Something is standing between what you want and how you can get it, and that's okay. Now you know it's there. You can do something about it. You just need to be strategic. It's wonderful to go for things with a childlike, carefree attitude, but drawing this card suggests you need a proper plan as well. Leave the past behind. You may need to move through and clear a criticism someone has made of you, which has somehow burned itself into your brain. You have work to do. And that's a very Capricorn thing to say. If you're thinking about the Capricorn being very um, mutable Earth, I believe, and and yeah, there's something just very Capricorn is the Capricorn people I know that are they're so very earthy. They're both down to earth, but they're also a little bit intractable as well. Um, which my Aries self struggles with sometimes. But yeah, just this is a time to kind of erase perhaps something that has someone has put on you, maybe as you're trying to find this cooperation, you've been criticized for it and you're like, no, I got to take care of me too. It's not just not just them, not just you, but it's a we, and sometimes that is very tricky to try and navigate. So the last quarter moon in Capricorn is that happens this year on April 10th. So that's an Aries thing. So we're back to Aries again. So leave the past behind. So yeah, I think when you're talking about something that usually happens when the sun is in Aries, you got to get fired up about this. You've got to get fired up about defending yourself, but also cooperating with others and finding that balance. You can defend yourself without being defensive. Does that make sense? You know, you can you can set your boundaries appropriately with kindness, with sensitivity. But yeah, you got to set your boundaries so you can find your balance. You have to set your balance. Setting your boundaries is important for keeping your heart open, because when you do when you do keep your heart open, you have to have how open. You have to have a doorstop there on how open you're going to be with everything, because you don't have to you don't have to give everything. You just can find the balance. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it also makes sense. Love it. Yeah. I love readings when they just kind of come around like that and they make sense. I really enjoy Yasmin Boland's works because she does take a really nice. She's an expert astrologer, and that's really something considering the field of astrology, where you're kind of blending in astrophysics with esoteric knowledge. And a lot of people are like, you don't believe in that, do you? And I'm like, yeah, actually I do, because I see it work. I see it at work. And it's like there's a difference between the cute astrological thing in the newspaper once a week. In fact, when I was in college, um, I used to read my roommates' horoscopes out loud to them, because I had it was myself as an Aries, and I would read mine to them, and then I would read my Scorpio roommates' horoscope out loud to her, and then I would read my Libra roommates out loud to her. No, excuse me, Virgo roommates loud to her. And my Scorpio roommate was convinced that the astrologers had a ex-boyfriend, must have been Scorpio, because she always felt like she got really bad readings. It's like, well, those are fun. Those are fun, and they can be kind of insightful. But when you really dig into getting your birth chart done or doing your birth chart online, digging into an ephemeris, where things really are in our solar system, it it does affect people. And it has, and this has been studied for thousands of years. This used to be what astrophysics was. Astrology was how we got started on astrophysics. The Babylonians used to do this to try and figure out, all right, where's the energy going? What do we need to do about it? How are we going to lead through a potential crisis? You know, important things. And when you know where the energy is in your solar system and in your universe, it's potent, it's powerful. Yeah. So, yeah, fascinating work. Love it. Yeah, highly recommend. Yeah, if you'd like to see a review of this deck and see all of the cards, I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. And thank you for watching. And I hope you join me in another video. Like and subscribe. Bye for now.